You are now watching The Meech.
The June 2023 Nintendo Direct just concluded, and needless to say, I have many thoughts on it. And considering my thoughts on Nintendo during the Nintendo Switch era, you would assume that those thoughts usually wouldn't be too good. After all, many Directs I've been very critical of. Who could forget the February 2022 Direct that revealed Nintendo Switch Sports? But, you could probably tell that this Nintendo Direct was something quite different. So, I'll be giving my thoughts on the Nintendo Direct. I wrote some notes down while watching it just to keep tabs on it. The good news is, I had a lot to write down. And the reason I had a lot to write down is because there were moments during that Direct where, oh my goodness, I just had to keep track of them because there was just so much going on. And it's a good thing. Usually when there's a lot going on, it's a lot of farming simulators and such. But let's start from the beginning and see how this June 2023 Nintendo Direct was. So the beginning of it was rather weak. The start of the Direct was Pokemon DLC for Scarlet and Violet, and it looks terrible. It looks just as bad as the base game. The graphics are still terrible. It looks like it's gonna run terribly. They did nothing to fix the game. They were advertising that they were putting Pokemon from prior generations into the game instead of there being there already. Who cares? It's Pokemon. Let's move on. It doesn't look good. I'm not buying it. I wasn't gonna buy it anyway. So we got a few more announcements throughout the Direct. And very early on, we got the announcement of a Super Mario RPG remake. It is called Super Mario RPG. It's not called Super Mario RPG HD or Super Mario RPG Remastered, nothing like that. Just Super Mario RPG, just like Link's Awakening. And it looks great. It goes for a different style, more of a chibi style, and it does look adorable for the Mario characters. And I gotta say, I'm very excited for this one. I haven't played Super Mario RPG. I've played pretty much every other Mario RPG, but somehow never got to the original. So essentially, this is going to be a brand new game for me. Although I can definitely acknowledge it is a remake, but that doesn't make me any less excited for it. It looks beautiful, it captured the magic of the Super Nintendo original so great while bringing it into the modern era, and I can't wait to play it. Now there was something revealed directly after that I thought was a new campaign in the Super Mario RPG remake, but as it turns out, this is an entirely new game, and it's one I never would have expected in a million years. It is a new game starring Princess Peach. So what I'm assuming this is a sequel to Super Princess Peach, which is one of the most underrated Mario games. It's a gem on the Nintendo DS, and originally I thought, it's probably going to be a one and done thing. And while it might not be a sequel to Super Princess Peach, the fact that we're getting a game starring Peach, again, after how many years has it been? Almost 20 years? That is insane. And visually, it looks incredible. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be a 2D platformer, kind of look like a beat 'em up, but either way, this looks super cool, and I can't wait to hear more about it. Although it does release next year. Another game that releases next year that I was not expecting is a remake of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Now, some might have thought this was a weird game to remake, considering most prefer the first game, and while I do think it would have been cool to have the first game on the Switch, this looks so far like it could be really cool. The presentation is not as good as I'd like, but it's still in development, it's releasing next year. You remember how Luigi's Mansion 3 looked when it was initially revealed? Just needed some time to get polished up, and it's the best looking game on Switch. And I don't think Dark Moon will be an exception to that, and the end product will look amazing. And it's going to be even better actually playing it on a console. It will probably retain the structure from the 3DS, but personally, I do like the mission structure. So that is a non-issue for me, although it'd be interesting to see if they tackle that in a different way, kind of making it more optimized to play on a console, but we'll have to wait and see. But so far, everything Mario has been great. Super Mario RPG Remake, looking amazing. New Super Princess Peach game, totally unexpected and looks incredible. A remake of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, my favorite 3DS game, wow. And we're not even 20 minutes in. So then we go through the rest of the Direct, and this is the midpoint. We get some more Pokemon news, and initially looking at the game, I thought it was more Scarlet and Violet. Detective Pikachu Returns is actually happening. This was a game that was revealed years ago, and I'm surprised it's still happening. I played Detective Pikachu on the 3DS. I couldn't really get into it, but while I will say the graphics do not look good, the voice acting is good, and the movement of the character animations, that looks pretty good. Although I did not like the gameplay in Detective Pikachu, so I don't think I'll be picking this one up. I think visually it could look better. I mean, with the Pokemon spin-offs, they've looked pretty good on the Switch, especially new Pokemon Snap, but this one, not so much. But, at the same time, I'm not too disappointed considering we got the prior 3 announcements. And hey, Fae Farm is here. Wouldn't be a Nintendo Direct without some farming simulators, and you know what? I'm glad they threw it in, just so I could make the joke about that.
Farm.
Speaking of farm, I think it was pretty ironic Nintendo ended it off by saying, next up, here's another game with plant-like creatures, pretty much acknowledging that Nintendo Directs have had farming simulators in the past. So Pikmin 4, that game is looking incredible. I am so excited to play it. I was completely sold on Pikmin 4 in the February Direct, and it just looks better and better. It is completely an evolution of Pikmin 3. There are a lot of new ideas. Being able to play missions at night with glowing Pikmin, that is a really cool feature. Needless to say, Pikmin 4 looks incredible. It keeps the core of what makes Pikmin great while introducing a ton of new ideas. And guess what? Just like Pikmin 3, it seems to have a really fun multiplayer mode. So this game looks to be nearly everything I wanted from Pikmin 4, and I'm super excited to play it. The thing with the Pikmin series and how underrated it is, it's just a shame not many people have had the chance to play the games. That is, until now. The entire Pikmin series is now on the Switch, because after Pikmin 4, they announced remakes or remasters of Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2, available on the eShop right now, and you bet I'll be getting them. I'm not sure if there's going to be a physical edition that has both games, or maybe even just 2 separately, because I didn't see any announcement for that. Even after the Direct, I checked Nintendo's Twitter to see if there was anything like that, but, considering how much I love Pikmin, I'll be getting the games digitally, and when Dimitri buys a Nintendo game digitally instead of holding out for physical, that's when you know a game or series is something incredible. Moving on from Pikmin, and we got so much Pikmin, I'm so glad the entire series is on Switch now. We got more information on Mario Kart Wave 5. Oh, this is hilarious, because that bathroom track that was in the data mine is actually real. And this track, Squeaky Clean Sprint, I think it's called, it looks hilarious, but it also looks like it could be a really fun time. And I'm sure the DLC is going to be great. We've seen with the Mario Kart DLC ever since Wave 3 that it's remained a consistent quality of being really great. And there are even more new characters, and these characters are all excellent additions. We got Petey Piranha returning from Mario Kart Double Dash. Then we got Wiggler from Mario Kart 7, which I was not expecting, but I am super excited for that. Wiggler isn't even in Mario Kart Tour, and he even retains the angry Wiggler side when he gets hit with an item. And Kamek! Kamek is finally in a mainline Mario Kart. I don't usually react during Nintendo Directs audibly, but I let out an audible "what?" when Kamek was actually revealed to be a playable character. I kind of saw it coming, but just to see Kamek in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that is insane, considering how long it has been where Kamek hasn't been playable in Mario Kart. He was going to be in Mario Kart 64, he was going to be in Mario Kart 8. It's good to finally have you in Mario Kart, Kamek. I was expecting to see the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC Wave 5 in the Nintendo Direct, but what I was not expecting to see is a brand new WarioWare game. Now usually most Nintendo systems will only get about one WarioWare game. There are some exceptions like the Nintendo DS and Game Boy Advance getting 2 of them. You got WarioWare INC and WarioWare Twisted on the Game Boy Advance, WarioWare Touched and WarioWare DIY, although DIY is more of a creation tool, more like Super Mario Maker, but seeing another one on Switch was a very welcome surprise considering I love the WarioWare series, And just yesterday, I was streaming WarioWare Get It Together and talking about how underrated that game was. Now, what's interesting about this new one, WarioWare Move It, is this is what I expected the WarioWare on Switch to be when the Switch was revealed. Like, I expected this kind of game to come fairly early on in the Switch's lifespan, but you know the saying, better late than never. It's just so weird seeing a lot of these games release on Switch that are either sequels to games in 2017, like Everybody Want to Switch, which was not part of this Nintendo Direct. And then you got WarioWare Move It, which looks like it would have been the signature WarioWare on Switch considering it uses the Joy-Cons. But WarioWare Get It Together was something kind of different. But either way, there are over 200 micro games, and unlike Everybody Want to Switch, this game looks like it's going to be a great time, and I'm super excited to play it. It looks to have better multiplayer than WarioWare Get It Together too, and that game had pretty good multiplayer. I do hope there are some more solo unlockables though, like there were in WarioWare Gold, so we'll have to wait and see. Imagine a Pioro game where you're actually moving around to play the game. Well, that about covers it for most of the Nintendo Direct. But I think this is where we get to the elephant in the room. There had been rumors about it. It turns out that guy who leaked it was absolutely right. We got a new 2D Mario game called Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Oh my goodness. With 2D Mario, I've been talking about how the series needs to evolve for years. And this game looks to be doing so much to evolve 2D Mario, introducing many new ideas, keeping the core of what made it good, having organic level design, interacting with the environments. It looks like a fresh new Mario experience, and I need to rewatch the trailer for it. But from what I've seen, I'm blown away. I honestly cannot believe that after so long, Nintendo just accounted for, hey, you know what? A lot of people are saying New Super Mario Bros. Just doesn't work anymore. And they decided to evolve 2D Mario and create something totally original. Now, there is Super Mario Maker 2, and a lot of people thought that would be the de facto 2D Mario on Switch. But turns out, we actually are getting an original entry after over a decade. After New Super Mario Bros. U, which I wouldn't even consider that original. So if you really want to go far back, this is the first original 2D Mario that is not related to New Super Mario Bros. Or Creation Tool since 2006. And it just looks absolutely incredible. I will definitely be making a full-on discussion about this game, but overall, what did I think about the Nintendo Direct? Well, I thought the Direct... Of course this Direct was amazing! It had so many new games, so many unexpected surprises, what I love to see from Nintendo. There are remakes of games, which are great. There are a lot of new games, some you wouldn't even expect, like the new Super Princess Peach game. The new 2D Mario, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, looks incredible. That looks like the Super Mario Odyssey that 2D Mario desperately needed. And overall, this Direct is one of the best that has ever happened, and by far the best that has happened this decade. In terms of games we didn't see, like a new 3D Mario or a new Donkey Kong, you know, at this point, I think it's just better to have them on the next system. The games we have here all look pretty incredible, and just saving the heavy hitters that take a lot of power for the next console, you know, I don't mind waiting. And it looks like we're going to have a pretty great rest of the year, and a good start to 2024. So what do you guys think? What was your favorite reveal from the Nintendo Direct? Let me know in the comments, and as always, keep calm and dada on. You can probably tell I've had a very hard time staying calm, because not only has this Nintendo Direct just pushed my hype levels to the limit, but I also had a cup of lungo before watching. Lungo.